Hello and welcome back to the channel, folks. HeirofCarthage here, bringing you the third and final battle that I was able to play with the sub-commanders group over on Sol Invictus's Discord. And this time I decided to take on a different role and play a different faction. I'm going to be rocking Epirus, and I'm going to be the cavalry commander. My general is a Hellenic Royal Cavalry. I've got 3 Thessalian. These are heavy shot cavalry, very good for the price. And then I have an Italian cavalry supporting a skirmisher and a Tarentine cavalry. This was basically getting max numbers while still getting some good quality. Epirus and Macedon are both pretty decent picks from a cavalry standpoint. There's a lot of decent picks, but they are not bad. The Getae player here on my team has the Noble Horsemen and some Spear Horsemen. They are playing a support role, so that's where you're going to see some additional Dacian heavy bowmen and spears coming in as they're playing, I believe, the player 4 role. Pontus is playing our melee infantry role, and they're going to have hillmen, pontic swords, and naked swords with a bronze shield pike general. And we're going to see the Galatians playing our missile and spear player with the mercenary Syrians and Galatian spears coming in. So we've also got a line of Celtic slingers up front for the Galatians. So that is the army on my side. On the opposite side, we have the Suebi once again playing the support faction, and they are an excellent one. And now we get to face against the Germanic slingers and the Wotanaz spears and spear walls here that have been brought by the Suebi. So they are definitely playing the missile and spear player, and then it's funny because with an almost identical build on the other side as Macedon, is the enemy cavalry, and so they have a companion cavalry general, 3 Thessalians again, and there are a couple, a Tarentine and a mercenary Thracian cavalry. Now this mercenary Thracian is an excellent unit in melee against light units, so as far as going up against my extra unit of like horse skirmishers, or skirmisher cavalry, this Thracian is a superior unit. So it's going to be interesting. But otherwise, the cavalry very similar between me and Macedon. Now, a couple of units that scare me a lot. The Macedon playing, I believe, they're going to be playing another support player. They've got some tribal slingers and spears, but they brought a couple of light infantry. These are good units. They also have a couple of Numidian heavy skirmishers, also great support units. But then what I'm really worried about is this armored Numidian cavalry they brought. These are excellent units. They have solid melee, really good jab damage, and they're not bad on a charge, late into the game. So it's going to be a little tricky for us to deal with that cavalry. And Galatia, of course, is a solid sword faction, so we're going to have our work cut out for us there. Now, early on here, a hillman unit was used as bait to kind of bring the enemy out and allow us to close the distance and start skirmishing. From a cavalry standpoint, my prerogative is essentially don't let the enemy plow through our front lines. So I've got cavalry set up in support, and then don't let them overwhelm a flank. So I'm going to have my work cut out for me. You all have seen how well that Wolf Olda has been playing the cavalry, and so I've got my work cut out for me. This is not going to be easy. So I either need to neutralize him by trading blows where neither one of us comes out on top, or preferably win. Right, but at the very least, I need to keep him from overwhelming me and then being able to use what's left of his cavalry to get to my teammates. Now, the challenge that I'm going to have is he may be able to get support from these Numidians. Head-to-head, I can kind of match with him depending on how smart I play. So like right here, I'm not going to give him an early engagement. I keep falling back, and what I'm doing is I'm trying, if I do get an engagement, I want it to be closer to my support than he is to his support. See these javelins here? This is bait. If I get out here and take him, I'm coming dangerously close to the tribal slingers, heavy Numidians, Numidian cabs, so we don't want any of that. Once again, our team is kind of focusing our left flank up against their right, and you can see Pontus moving forward. We don't have near as much skirmish advantage, but we do have good skirmishers here, and you can see the Syrians going ahead and pouring in some of their fire. We're about to get an engagement here between the Galatians and Pontus here. It's going to be a pretty interesting engagement. Meanwhile, on the flanks, I'm kind of hoping that his skirmisher cavalry continues to be aggressive, because what I'm going to try to do is see if I can get my mercenary Italians into his skirmisher cavalry and get a clean win that would force him to commit other cavalry, where I might be able to get spear support or other support. So you can see me folding back, and this is Wolf Olda is now pushing in. I can't fold back forever, but see here where he's going to send a Thessalian to charge the spears. I'm going to counter that with a heavier cav He's then going to come countering that, and I'm going to again counter. So it's basically, I'm trying to hopefully get the better of these charges here. We will see. And I do get a pretty decent charge, and then I do succeed in getting my Italian cavalry into his Tarentines and start shredding them, which is great. And then that allows my skirmisher cavalry to come over and do a little bit of focus work on his Thessalians. I'm able to pull my general back and get ready to cycle charge and get away from all these skirmishers. So at the moment, it's okay, right? I'm not totally dying out here, which is great. And I was able to do some good damage to his Tarentine cavalry and push them back. There's 2 mercenary Thracians and a Tarentine, so I'm definitely outnumbered out here, and I'm going to have to do something about it. I got a good cycle charge with my general into this Thessalian, which seems to be turning the tide. I'm going to continue to cycle charge. I got support from some Galatian cavalry there. And then as far as the infantry fight goes, Pontus is doing a pretty good job of overwhelming with numbers at the moment in this vicinity. There's some Galatian legionaries here, though, that are causing a little bit of trouble in the middle. But as far as the cavalry fight goes, again, could be worse. I mean, I don't have like a decisive victory brewing here, but I've certainly got Wolf Olda stopped at the moment. However, here comes the Macedon. The Macedon show up with tribal slingers and heavy skirmishers. This fight is now about to get a lot more difficult on this flank, and those heavy skirmishers are the big reason. They are going to be difficult to stop. So what has been good so far is going to continue to be tricky. Look at this Galatian nobleman, the spears. We've got a lot of units out there, but over here, the Galatians are starting to brunt the Pontic assault, and the Suebi are assisting in that. So this is not great for my team because the frontline assault is being brunted. Look at this noble horse here smashing into those Pontic swords, following up with the Galatian legionaries. So the melee line for our army is starting to falter a little, and despite me being able to hold to this point on the cavalry, and I did get some success with my Italian cavalry into their skirmisher. You can see that Thracian cavalry took some damage, as did these Tarentines and the other Thracian. I didn't kill them, and now I'm outnumbered. I'm going to continue to kind of push these units back. I almost got the companion cavalry general, but not quite. And now this Numidian cavalry is coming in late when it's going to be the most dangerous. I was able to get my general away, and I needed to come over here in the middle and help because we were losing the middle. So I'm trying to bring a charge in to kill these desert vigiles. But I'm going to have to pull out quickly because I have a Numidian light infantry coming in. They're going to toss javelins at me, so I tried to turn and hopefully charge them before I took too many javelins. I still took a few, unfortunately. But I did manage to rack up a bunch of kills pretty quickly on the companions. And again, I'm just trying to lend help here and keep the dream alive here for Pontus. Some of our friendly cavalry back here with the spear horses did get into the enemy skirmishers. That was a huge win for us, so we are fighting desperately to keep ourselves in the fight here, but you can see from the power bar that we have a bit of an uphill struggle in our hands, and it's these Numidian cavalry are my number one concern at the moment. My own Hellenic Royal Cavalry is slowly faltering. I cannot face these mercenary Tarentines and Thracians in combat with just a Tarentine cavalry. The Thracians are good, and it's going to be hard for me to stop them. I'm going to have to turn around and charge, though. We can't afford to lose our slingers. These Dacian heavy bowmen are pulling back along with a noble horse support, and then Pontus is using its last infantry here to try and hold off. Very nice work by our Getae teammate here, though. So again, we've got a close fight on our hands, and like I said, were it not for these Numidian armored Numidian cavalry, I would feel like we have a fighting chance here, but we just cannot stop these at the moment. And you can see here that the spear horsemen are kind of getting onto their last legs. They've done a great job, but these tribal slingers back here giving them fits. There's another Germanic slinger left. We do have the Dacian heavy bowmen, but they're about to be pressured by those armored Numidian riders. Nice support fire here, though, by the Dacian bowmen, ripping into these cavalry, putting fire into the armored Numidian riders, but their armor is going to help them, resist a little bit of the bow fire here for long enough. And look at this nice surrounding move. It's going to make it impossible for the noble horsemen to be able to defend both sides. And so at this point, our heavy bowmen are kind of doomed. And there goes our spear horsemen. So we were not able to pull this one off. It was a close battle, and had a few things maybe gone a little better for us, we could have done, maybe pulled it off. These armored Numidian riders, in my opinion, though, were just a fantastic pick. And waiting until a little bit later into that battle and bringing them in, the pressure just kind of overwhelmed what was left of our right flank. And I think overall, though, a good job by my Pontic teammate and the others who I think put up a really solid fight up the middle. There was Pontic infantry left until fairly close to the end there. But these, like I said, these armored Numidian riders and again, the Getae player in our team, great job getting rid of most of the enemy skirmishers here. Those noble horse and the spear horsemen did really spectacular work. Really good work. We just didn't quite get enough done to carry us to victory. But overall, it was a fun one. So really fun game there. Had my work cut out for me playing the cavalry player. It's not easy. I tried to play fairly defensive. I would say that in some ways it was successful. Like, I did not just let that flank collapse, and I did cause a ton of damage to Macedon's cavalry. You can see that the only unit they have left is their companion and just a few of these skirmishers. Unfortunately for us, though, I just did not have an answer for those Numidian cavalry, and it ended up costing us there in the end. But GG to our opponents, and thank you to my teammates. I appreciate everybody who participated in the events. You can see our team switched up just a little bit here. We had HeirofCarthage join us, and I don't remember, I think we changed some players here on the other side too, but appreciate all the players, Vortigern Sauce, Wolf Olda, Waro, and Warlord of the Lowlands. I'll tell you what, man, if you're looking to improve your game on a cavalry standpoint, having to go up against Wolf Olda's cavalry is a great way to help you try and improve your game, because you are certainly getting solid competition there. Very nice work to him on his mercenary Thracian cavalry. I like these units. They're great units. And in my opinion, it probably does give Macedon just a bit of an edge over Epirus because of these Thracians being superior skirmishers. And then, of course, I had an Italian cavalry where he brought a Tarentine cavalry here, which is interesting. Tarentines aren't terrible against skirmishers, but they still can toss some javelins, so another interesting pick in that regard. But otherwise, a very fun battle. So here's my stats, of course. As far as, big hitters for me, I had this Thessalian cavalry pick up a chevron, despite the fact it was only 28 kills. Same thing here with only 56 kills, which just means that they got some fairly valuable kills. And then Hellenic Royal Cavalry picked up a chevron as well. So it was not a total loss for me, but it was tough sledding there. Magnus here with the Pontus infantry line, he picked up chevrons on multiple units here. I think, again, did a pretty good job overall trying to push against a tough Galatian infantry line. And then Number here with his Galatian support team did get some damage done with the Syrian archers. And then as far as the slingers go, a little bit of damage out of them too. And then let's check HeirofCarthage here with the Getae. I mean, just look at those cavalry numbers. Fantastic as a support player, racking up well over 650 kills in terms of cavalry, so it's well done. And then look at the kills here, 129 on that Dacian heavy bowman, another 129. So HeirofCarthage was really knocking it out of the park there for us. Vortigern Sauce with his Galatians did very well with his legionaries. His noble horse general did extremely well, and then he had a naked sword pick up 196 as well. Wolf here, you saw his cavalry work, very well done to him. Waro coming in with some nice support as the Suebi as well. Good pick with the Germanic slingers. Spear Brothers, I like this overall pick. And then Warlord of the Lowlands. These Numidian, look at the kills on the armored Numidians. Rest in pieces to us. Well done, sir. Good Macedon play. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed that one. HeirofCarthage signing up for now. I'll see you all soon with some more action in Total War Rome 2.